Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
Joining us on the line now is Ellie McDonald. She is the co-founder of Be Spain Savvy. We've been chatting to Brenda the last few weeks, so it's great to chat to Ellie. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Really nice to meet you. So tell us a bit about you and when and why you moved to Spain, because you're from Scotland.
I am. I'm from the north of Scotland and I studied in Glasgow. And if I'm honest, I moved to Spain a little bit in I wouldn't say teenage strop, but an early adolescent strop at how life was going to be in Scotland. And I just didn't want to. So I booked flights and I decided I was leaving with no real plans to stay. But here I am.
So when did you make the move and whereabouts did you move to and why?
I moved in about 2014, just right after university. I started in Madrid. I then moved to Bilbao and then Burgos. And then I was in Córdoba and Jaén and Granada for a while. Wow. And now I'm in Cadiz. Yeah, I've been everywhere.
Oh, amazing.
And like I say, not really, there wasn't a reason. It wasn't like I'm going to live in Spain. I've also left and I've lived in China and America and other places along the way. So I didn't come here with the objective to stay forever, but it brings you back. It's a good place.
Yeah. And what took you to Cadiz?
I had visited Huelva once. But Cadiz was a little bit of an abrupt decision because it all happened in COVID times. I don't know if you remember those many months ago. And I was out of the country when COVID started. And to get back in, I needed to have a contract. I didn't have any working contract at that time. And essentially, I looked online and I got two different jobs, one in Asturias and one in El Puerto de Santa Maria in Cadiz. And I preferred Cadiz, so I came here. I like the sun and I like the beach.
Oh, nice.
And then since then, I've lived for a little while in El Puerto de Santa Maria. And now I'm in a village in Cadiz still, but in a really small village with my menagerie of animals and my wild campo life.
Oh, lovely. And Brenda has told us how much you are unbelievably integrated into Spanish culture and the Spanish way of life. And she says sometimes you're more Spanish than she is, which is amazing.
Yeah, we have a joke about it because I'm always like, oh, I'm going to the feria. And she's like, oh, I don't like feria. Or I'm going here and I'm doing this. And she's like, oh, God. But the only thing that we have maintained truly our authentic selves is I'm always on time. And Brenda is normally late.
Oh, dear. And
it's a little joke.
Yeah, because you have to get used to that. This is one of the things that Brenda and I have talked about. When you're moving to Spain, you can't live here constantly moaning about how the Spanish do it because it's their country that you're moving to. You have to adapt and you have to learn to accept and be okay and even love how they do things.
I actually think it takes a weight off. I'm not going to lie. There are certain things that I still like. Not that it makes me think, but I still notice. And I've been here for a long time. So if I'm noticing them, it's like, slightly triggered. But the timing, I love it. I love it that you're like, I'll be there at 6 and really it's 7 and everybody knows it's 7. So you don't actually... But when I first arrived, my friends would be like, oh, we're going to this place. I'll see you at 9. And I'd be there at 9:15. And then they would start arriving at 9:30. So it took me like a month to be like, no, this is just a waste of my life. I'm going to just go late like everybody else. Yeah. And it's okay here. It's not considered late.
Exactly. As long as you understand that 9 means 9:30, then you don't need to turn up at 9:15 and you don't need to be offended and annoyed that everybody's late.
It's not annoying at all if you just embrace what it is. Yeah. I mean, the other the kind of aspect I think is that life is just slower and nicer here in general. Like I love Scotland. Scottish people are great. I actually think they could battle with the Spanish for their friendliness and their welcoming, personalities. the weather sucks. But apart from that, Scotland is a good country. But we're very much sticklers to times, you know. We say 6 and you're 6:02 and people are like, oh. But you say 6 here and you arrive at 6:02, people are like, oh, why are you here so early?
It's funny.
Actually, it happened on Saturday. I had a party in Jerez for the feria, and they told us 8, but everyone knows that's 8:30. But we wanted to help with the setup, and for some reason, the person who I was with, who's actually Spanish, decided that we should arrive at 7, and we were there way too early, just sat on the couch doing nothing. It's really awkward.
So even the Spaniards get it wrong sometimes.
When Spanish make a mistake. Yeah. Sure.
There was a couple of lovely pieces recently on your Facebook page that I wanted to mention. There was one talking about the reason why people come to Spain, you know, whether it's the tapas, the beaches, cheap flights around Europe, the beer, all that kind of thing. But then you end up staying for completely different reasons.
Different reasons. That one, I mean, it's very much from my side of it, because obviously Brenda's Spanish, so she can have a different perspective on certain things. But definitely I think that for British people, and I would probably say American, when we think of Spain, we think of the beach, and we don't necessarily think much further into the Spanish culture. The other day I was talking about the Alhambra and whatever. And yeah, before I came to Spain, I didn't know these places existed. Not because I was like, you know, silly. No, I have a university degree, but I just didn't know about Spain, like real Spain. And now I definitely think I love the speed of life. And I love that the grandparents are still so integrated into the culture. I love that, you know, I go out for a drink and there's a 15-year-old with their friends, and then the parents are there and the grandparents are there too, and everyone's in the same bar. I mean, that doesn't happen anywhere else. And it's beautiful to think that they still have a social life well into their 90s. And I like that kind of, you know, social integration.
Definitely. It's really nice. And the family life, as you say, when you see, we talked about this with Ellie the other week, but going out, going out late at night and seeing young children playing in the street at like 11 o'clock at night, and the grandparents are there. And
when they're asleep in the chair. At first I was like, oh my God, what are they doing here? These poor kids. And now I'm like, oh, those kids are fine.
Absolutely.
they need to sleep. Like,
all
the jackets on its off.
You talk about in this article the abuelas at the Mercado, and again, going to a market here, going to an outdoor market, a regular market, buying fruit and vegetables or a pair of shoes or whatever you might want. It really is quite a unique experience, isn't it?
It is. And also, I remember once, this was before I spoke Spanish, I came not speaking Spanish and learned here. And I remember once just sitting and having a coffee by myself and watching these two grandmas, and they were like, I thought they were proper arguing. I was like, oh my God, there's like a real drama. They looked so like angry and annoying. And then I asked my friend who was Spanish when she arrived, what are they talking about? And she was like, they're talking about the color of the drapes in the living room. They were just having a really heated conversation about curtains. It was so much passion. I could have, you know, I absolutely thought they were having a fight. And I was like, oh, any moment now they're going to, you know. But no, they were talking about curtains. Just love
brilliant.
For life.
Brilliant. And the big part of this article is talking about the word vale or ballet, and the fact that you learn to use it for almost everything.
Everything. Yeah, I think there's a few expressions like that. When I came, it was vale and que fuerte. I think que fuerte can be used for anything. You can say it with like really sad, like, oh, que fuerte. Or you can be like really happy, que fuerte. And it works for everything. So you don't really have to know what's going on. You're just,
just say it.
You're strong. You're strong. You know it. It's one of those beautiful expressions like, oh, vale. Okay.
Vale. It's true, and you hear people saying it all the time, and once you understand what it means and the right way to say it, you can say it all the time.
Say it in all context. Oh, vale.
Absolutely. And looking at the because you also mentioned, you talk about the negatives, but because there's so many positives, there's easy ways of getting over it. So you're saying, somewhere between the paperwork, the language mistakes, the long lunches, the voice notes, you're kind of pointing out all the different things that Spain slowly became home.
Yeah, it does. It does. My mum laughs at me because I now live in a village and I'm from a village. And if my mum had told me 10 years ago, oh, you'll come back to the village, I'd be like, Mum, I can't live in a village. It's impossible. And I chose to buy a house in one, just in another language. It becomes more familiar almost than your home, because it is so easy to just enjoy life here. There's so many things, that could be better, but that's true everywhere. Yeah. That's true in all societies, in all countries. It doesn't matter. It's, there are problems. But the Spanish ones are generally, if you're an honest and, if you're a good person, essentially it's just a case of ticking the boxes and getting through it step by step. And obviously, if you can, with some help, because occasionally, bureaucracy, language, legal terms, they're not easy in your own language. Unfortunately, it's just something that you have to live with. The voice messages, that's, and the the WhatsApp statuses, no other country uses those. I only have Spanish friends that use those. I don't know why. Yeah. I don't have a single British friend that uploads pictures on WhatsApp. Nobody.
No, that's really true. There's a lovely piece you talked about success and how it used to look really different, when you think about your old life, if you like, in the UK and what success and what a job and all that kind of thing looked like, how different it is in Spain.
I think definitely it's noticeable for me, but I think that piece came from Brenda's heart more than mine, because I was very young when I decided that the rat race was not for me. And I got out before I even started, if I'm honest. Call me lazy. But
I call you clever.
Right? I remember being like 12, being like, Mom, why don't we just move to a place where we feel like we're on holiday all the time? And she's like, oh, people don't do that. And I was like, watch. Yes, they do. And if they don't, they should. But I think Brenda definitely had like a really successful but long and difficult professional life. And now I think, okay, be Spain savvy, like what we're doing now, sometimes has its days, don't get me wrong. When there's a list as long as my arm, and I'm like, oh my God, I think I've gone more into the rat race and she's come out of it. But we balance each other nicely, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a different way of life, and I've met lots of people. I'm the same as you. I never really got into the rat race. I'd started traveling when I was like 17, 18, so have lived in lots of different countries and experienced different cultures and doing all kinds of different jobs. But yeah, there are a lot of people here who are used or were used to working 9 to 5 plus overtime and stress and on their phones all the time. And here they're just still working, still busy, but somehow it's not as stressful.
There's more hours in the day here. Dinner is 8, 9. Okay, in Scotland, it's also bright till late at night. But once you've had dinner at 6 o'clock, what do? You sit and watch the TV. There's way more hours in the day here. Obviously there's 24 hours in the day in Spain, guys. False advertising. But it feels like there's at least 4 more, because, you go out at 9 o'clock at night and people are just starting to emerge from their houses. I still get my 8 hours sleep. I don't know how it all works out, but it does. The day is longer here, definitely.
Yeah. Well, do you think you'll stay in Cadiz for the near future? I mean, any plans to move somewhere else in Spain, or are you quite settled there?
No, for now I'm here. I came here to buy my house, and I have a horse. So she is living her best life in the campo, in the countryside, just near to the village. And I couldn't move her, and I couldn't go without her. So here I am.
Oh, nice. That's lovely, though. It's nice to be settled, isn't it? With all you've obviously done a lot of traveling as well, and while that's so much fun, it's nice to have a base.
I absolutely that was the exact expression that I used when I was looking for the house. I was like, I need to have a base. Like, I would love to be able to, run home to mum if something goes wrong. But for me, I can't. It's not a physical, I have the horse here, I have the dogs. It's not something that I can do as if she were living in the same town. Mm. So when I was looking around, I decided, no, I want to go to a village, because people in a village, they see you and they ask about you, even if they don't know who you are. A, because they're nosy, and B, because, you feel like part of a community much quicker. And also, I think it just takes a weight off to know that you have your own place, or a place that you can call home and feel good about. And recently, I tell you, the travel bug, I used to travel all the time. I couldn't stop. I was like, whoa. But now I can't be bothered. I'm just like, I'll go again in the future. I can't be bothered. I get like an old lady.
Well, it proves you're in the right place, because the main reason why you wouldn't be bothered is because you're really happy and settled where you are. You don't feel the need to desperately get away, because where you are is pretty damn good.
Oh, and Gavies, you can go to a different beach every day of the week if you want to, and they're all beautiful.
Oh, how lovely.
Unless it's raining, which it's been giving us.
Well, yeah, we've had a bit of that, haven't we? But we'll gloss over that. It's always sunny in Spain.
We won't talk about that.
Well, if people haven't found your Facebook page yet, they definitely must. If you're on Facebook, go to Be Spain Savvy and give it a like, and you'll see some really fabulously, beautifully written articles about living in Spain, the culture of Spain. Some are really serious, some are really funny, and you can comment and get involved. And you can also subscribe to their Facebook page as well. So if you're on Facebook, just put in Be Spain Savvy into the search bar up the top. We've been speaking to the co-founder, Ellie McDonald. Ellie, really lovely to chat with you.
You too, Hannah. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.